Hello squad, so I've got another field craft project for you. What we're going to be building today is a Dakota fire. So the intent of a Dakota fire is to build a fire where you want to mitigate detection, or let's say you're in a wide open area and there's a lot of wind and all you're doing is combating that wind and you want to make a subterranean fire. So it's twofold: avoid detection and keep it out of the wind so you don't have the swirls of embers and such. Now this requires wind assist, so it's a two-hole process. One is the fire pit, the other is the air assist hole, because fire has to breathe. We can't just dig a subterranean fire and expect it to live, because it needs to be fed, and that it needs to be fed by air, by oxygen. So we have to consider which way the wind is coming from, and unfortunately for me right now, the wind's been swirling. So not too long ago it was coming out of the west. Right now it's coming out of the north. So I'm gonna pay attention to the wind while I'm digging my initial hole and see which way it's predominantly coming from. I just need to get it sort of correct. I don't want it to be the wind assist hole. I want to be with the wind, not away from the wind. So I'll figure it out. But right now let's start digging our primary hole. And the good thing about North Carolina is a lot of sand, so it shouldn't take me long to dig these two holes. If you live in an area that's very rocky or rooty, it's going to take a little bit longer. What I've done here is dug my primary hole, and this will be my fire hole. I'm just kind of making final touches on it now. It's pretty deep, and the dimension is totally up to you. While I've been digging, the predominant wind is coming out of the south. So what I need to do is put my breather hole or my feeder hole this way. So upwind from that, so that way I'm getting the predominant wind coming down into that hole to feed the flames. I've been working on my feeder hole, and it's just about through to my fire pit. I'm gonna reach in there. Yep, I'm through. I'm through there. Make sure I clean that out. What I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna use some of this sand, some of this filler sand, to channelize that air. So I'm kind of making air catch here, because I want that fed. I want it fed very well. So I'm gonna build this all the way around. I want to keep this dirt handy, because the other purpose of this Dakota fire is the ability to put it out quickly. So with a regular above surface fire, it takes a long time to put it out. With this, all I'm doing is pushing the dirt back in the hole and suffocating that thing. So I'm gonna clean this out. The other thing I found, let me get it real quick. I found out here rooting around is a flat rock. I'm gonna use this flat rock. See if it fits. Oh man, that fits nice. I'm gonna have to square it up just a little bit. I'm gonna use that flat rock for the base of the fire pit. That way the fire isn't being absorbed by all the moist earth down there. So I'm just gonna clean this out a little bit, fashion that fat rock in there, show you my final product, and then we'll talk about the fire. So what I've done here is assembled some fuel in echelons. Remember, when we talked fire, it's all about preparation. We want to make sure that we have everything prepared. I was rooting around in the woods and I found a big chunk of lighter knot. So I carved off a few shards, very small. To start it, I'm going to use these dry grasses I found in the area. I think that should do the trick. It feels pretty dry. Even though it rained yesterday, everything's a little bit damp. So first is that. Second, I'm going to try to get some lighter knot going. Then I'm going to throw on some small oak to bigger oak to bigger oak. So I want to make sure that I prepare this thing, because, well, I may only have one chance. So let's try this. I've got that fire starter that I was telling you guys about before. Oh, it's already lit. Damn, that's already lit too. Shove that down in there. Put some of my lighter knot in there. That should get going pretty quick. feed that in there. See what's catching and what's not. So the lighter knot's going, and some of the oak is already going. This may take a while. I'm gonna feed some of the big oak on it. I've got a really good flame down in there right now. I'm gonna feed some of the big oak on it, and then come back to you once I've got some nice coals down there. So you can see here from afar, the fire is subterranean, so it will help me avoid detection, and it'll keep it out of the wind. It's burning real good because the feeder hole is working very well. So that thing is blazing in there. I mean, it's really cooking. I've got some water I put on there. I just used my knife, utility knife. That's why I carry a utility knife, to help hold that. Yep, I could hear the water boiling. I could see the steam coming out. So Dakota fire, and in a second here, when I get the water off, I'll show you how to put it out. No doubt the happiest Dakota fire I have ever built. The wind is feeding it perfectly. You could even see the flames shooting up because it's being fed by the wind. So it's really happy, and it doesn't require a lot of wood because you don't have this tremendous wind fueling it. You just have this little bit of trickle, and it's coming directly at the side of it. So it's super happy, and it is blazing hot down in there. I mean, so this could supply me with a lot of heat. I mean, right here, it's chilly today. Right here, I am extremely warm, but there's a lot of heat coming from that. I mean, tons of it. So to put it out, all I'm gonna do is fill the holes back up, and it'll go out pretty quick. Reduce that signature, all that smoke's coming out. Get in there, sand. So no more smoke. You imagine, you know, when you build a fire on land and you put it out with water or such, the signature is tremendous because all that steam and smoke you're creating from putting it out with water, or even if you're just putting it out with dirt, where here there's very little signature. So I'm gonna finish cleaning this up, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Rock and roll, squad.